Before we start, I need to tell you something about this episode. I wanted to improve the quality of these videos, so this time I experimented with more cinematic AI-generated scenes. Well, apparently quality comes with a price. I managed to burn through almost an entire month's worth of generation credits on this one episode. And the best part? Sometimes I'd regenerate a scene to fix one mistake, and the exact same mistake would happen again. Or it would fix that one and invent a completely new one. Very helpful. So eventually I decided, if AI insists on making mistakes, we might as well laugh at them. You'll find some of the best ones in the bloopers at the end of the episode. But don't skip ahead. First, there's a lot of important information in this episode. And second, trust me, the bloopers are much funnier when you've already seen the scenes they completely messed up. Actually, let's make it a game. Play detective while you watch. Some mistakes are obvious. Some are surprisingly well hidden. How many can you spot before we reveal them? And when you're done, tell me in the comments which one made you laugh the most. All right, enough about my disappearing credits. Let's meet Sandrine.
Du coup, vas-y Sandrine. Are you Andy?
Yes, it's me.
Du coup, I recognized you from your YouTube channel.
You're French.
Is it really that obvious?
Du coup,
So, yes.
would you like to sit down?
Yes, thank you.
Ouais.
Du coup, I was wondering something. Je me demandais. Merci.
Go ahead.
You speak French. You live in Quebec. So why is your channel in English?
That's a good question. When I first imagined the channel, I considered making it in French. Maybe one day there'll be French versions or proper French subtitles. But I was already communicating in English on Blossom, and it opened the door to a much larger community across Canada and the US. I figured that if I could reach more people, the channel would have a better chance to grow, eventually support itself, and stick around for a long time.
Du coup, that actually makes sense.
I'm glad I passed the test.
For now. I moved to Montreal 2 years ago, and at first everything was expensive. The apartment, furniture, and especially winter clothes. Nobody told me one coat wouldn't be enough. But now I finally have a stable job, I pay my bills, and I can finally save a little money every month. I know I should probably do something with it, but I'm terrified of investing.
What scares you the most?
Losing it. All of it.
Has that ever happened to you?
No, but it could.
It could. But before deciding where your money should go, maybe we should understand what your imagination does every time the market moves.
My imagination is very responsible. See, you're laughing, but this is exactly what happens in my head. The stock market dropped 3% today. Du quoi? Immediately my brain goes, that's it, it's over. All my savings are gone.
I'm not laughing at what scares you. I'm laughing because you just turned a 3% market drop into a 100% disaster. Look, imagine this is the market over time. The market drops 3%, and your imagination drops 300%.
Back in France, I had my Livret A. I knew where my money was. I knew I could access it. And I didn't have to watch a Chimar chart moving every 5 seconds.
And that feeling of security mattered to you.
A lot.
Then we shouldn't ignore it.
People sometimes think every dollar should earn the highest return possible. But money has different jobs. Money you might need next month doesn't belong in the same place as money you won't need for 5 years, or money you're saving for retirement.
So before choosing an investment, I need to decide what the money is for?
Exactly. And that's where I'd start. Money you might need unexpectedly, your emergency fund, can simply stay in a savings account. It may not give you the highest return, but that's not really its job. Its job is to be available when you need it. Because even with a good budget, life has a habit of adding expenses you didn't plan for. a broken refrigerator, car repairs, an unexpected invitation, or something much more serious like suddenly losing your job. That's when an emergency fund becomes really important. It gives you time. Time to pay your rent, buy groceries, cover your insurance, and get back on your feet without immediately worrying about where the next dollar is coming from.
Okay, that actually makes me feel better. So keeping some money in cash isn't a mistake. I just need to know why I'm keeping it there.
Exactly. Cash isn't the problem when it has a purpose. The problem is leaving every dollar there forever, including money you won't need for many years. Now, if some of your money can stay untouched for a while, there's another option worth understanding. A GIC, a Guaranteed Investment Certificate.
Guaranteed? Okay, now you're speaking my language. Because I know people who invest and talk about making 15, 20%, and every time I hear them, I feel like I'm doing something wrong by being scared. But honestly, I don't think I could watch my savings drop 10 or 20% and just tell myself it'll come back. 3% already makes my imagination prepare for bankruptcy.
And that's okay. You don't have to invest like your friends, your coworkers, or somebody online who tells you they made 15 or 20%. Their risk tolerance isn't yours. If a 3% drop makes you genuinely anxious, respect that. There's nothing to prove. You're not in competition with anybody. An investment can look great on paper and still be completely wrong for you if you can't sleep when its value goes down. Your mental health is way more important. The goal isn't to copy someone else's return. It's to find the balance between risk, return, and peace of mind that you can actually live with. Since protecting your money matters so much to you, let's stay on the calmer side for a moment. AGIC lets you invest money for a defined period at a rate you know in advance. Depending on the GIC, you may be able to redeem it early, or your money may remain locked in until maturity. Then you have things like Treasury bills, short-term government obligations. In simple terms, you're lending money to a government for a short period. They're generally considered a much more conservative place to put money than stocks. Neither one is exciting. But exciting isn't necessarily what you're looking for.
Exactly. I don't need my money to entertain me. Guaranteed, predictable, boring. Honestly, you're describing my dream investment.
Just remember, conservative doesn't mean there's nothing to understand. With either one, you still need to know the terms, the return, and when you can access your money. And one more thing, a guaranteed return doesn't necessarily mean your purchasing power is guaranteed. Imagine, just as an example, your GIC pays 3%, while inflation is running at 4%.
Wait, so my money is growing, but I can still be losing purchasing power?
Exactly.
Remind me what GIC or CPG stands for in French?
Certificat de placement garanti.
At that rate, I think I'm changing one word. Certificat de pauvreté garantie. That's a little harsh, but the poverty is guaranteed.
Okay, but remember, safety has value too. The highest return isn't always the right return for you. People approaching or already in retirement often become more focused on protecting what they've accumulated because they may have less time to recover from a major loss. But risk tolerance isn't just about age. There's no minimum age for losing sleep over your investments. If your friends or coworkers are comfortable chasing 15 or 20% returns, good for them. You don't have to be. If a 3% drop makes you anxious, respect that. The important thing is that you invest according to your own risk tolerance, not somebody else's.
Especially if 3% down makes me panic 300%.
Now let's move one step further. Instead of lending your money or locking it into a guaranteed product, you can start owning investments. One way to do that is through an ETF, an exchange-traded fund. Think of it as a basket. Instead of buying every investment separately, you can buy units of the basket. But ETF only describes the structure. It doesn't tell you what's inside. Some ETFs hold stocks, some bonds, some preferred shares, some use options, and some contain very concentrated portfolios.
So I still have to look inside the basket.
Always. A broad market index fund is one type of fund that can spread your money across hundreds, sometimes thousands of companies. That reduces your dependence on what happens to any single company. But diversified doesn't mean the value can't fall. If the entire market drops, the basket can drop with it.
How much?
Enough that you'd probably stop liking me again.
I knew there was a catch.
Not a catch, risk. There's a difference. And between very conservative investments and common stocks, there are other categories you can eventually explore, including preferred shares. They often pay a stated dividend and generally rank ahead of common shareholders for dividends and assets, although creditors still come first. But don't let the word preferred fool you. Their prices can move too, and they can react to interest rates, credit conditions, and what happens to the company.
So preferred doesn't mean protected.
Exactly. And in another episode, I'll show you something called split shares, including structures where preferred shareholders are paid before the Class A shareholders.
There is so much to learn.
Exactly why I'm making more than one episode.
Well, then I'm definitely subscribing and clicking the notification bell.
That was surprisingly professional.
I'm a professional, you know?
Seriously, Andy, thank you. I still have a lot to learn. Would you mind if we stayed in touch?
Of course.
I have a lot of questions, and I'm not letting you get rid of me until I know everything.
Sandrine's story reminds us of something that I think is easy to forget when we talk about investing. We spend a lot of time talking about returns, 5%, 8%, 10%, maybe more. And yes, historically, broad stock market indexes have rewarded investors who are willing and able to stay invested for the long term. But investing isn't a competition. You're not competing with your friends, you're not competing with your coworkers, and you're definitely not competing with someone on social media showing you their best performing investment. Your risk tolerance is your risk tolerance. If someone is comfortable watching their portfolio fall 20 or 30% during a major market decline, that's fine. But if someone else loses sleep over a 3% drop, that matters too. Please don't judge people because they choose a GIC, Treasury bills, a savings account, or another more conservative investment when you believe they could earn more somewhere else. The mathematically better investment isn't necessarily the better investment for the person who can't live with the risk. Money is supposed to help us build a better life, not make us miserable while we're trying to build one. So learn, ask questions, understand the risks, understand the potential returns, and then build something that you can actually live with. Because your financial health matters, but so does your mental well-being. Thanks for spending some time with Sandrine and me today. I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of her. And if you enjoyed the episode, come back. We still have a lot to learn together. Don't forget the like button, please. Maybe one day it will help to find better video generators. And apparently, a ridiculous number of bloopers to make. See you next time. Wait, you're not leaving before the bloopers, right?
Are you Andy?
Du coup, vas-y, Sandrine.
What? Who moved the chair?
I recognized you from your YouTube channel.
Okay, that's my 24 years old Sandrine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who decided to add 15 years to my Sandrine?
Yes.
Kling got her age right, 24. C-Dance 2.0 looked at her and went, nah, let's add 15 years. What did she ever do to you? And before every 39-year-old woman in the comments comes after me, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being 39. The problem is aging 15 years between two camera angles. At that rate, by the end of the episode, Sandrine's collecting her pension. Hey, where's my laptop? Oh, Magica.
Du coup, I was wondering something.
Jesus, don't look at me like that. I'm married.
Du coup, that actually makes sense.
I'm glad I passed the test.
For now. I moved to Montreal
Wow, Kling 3.0 generated some random street corner, only to eventually make its way back to the long street. Another 4,500 credits down the drain.
2 years ago, and at first everything was expensive. The apartment
And stick around for a long time.
What happened to your glass of wine?
Sent today. Du quoi? Immediately my
Du quoi? Seriously? I wrote du coup, not du quoi. I'm definitely not wasting another 4,500 credits just to fix one word. Oh geez, straight to the bloopers.
I'm not laughing at what scares you. I'm laughing because you just turned a 3.
Seriously, why can't you just use my real voice instead of giving me a completely different voice every damn time I use Kling or C-Dance? What? The prompt said to write in your book, not on the screen of your computer.
And your imagination drops 300%.
Well, apparently our imagination can actually see you drawing on the screen. You guys saw that too, right?
back in France, I had my livret A.
Livret A? What the? On dit le livret A.
I knew where my money was, I knew I could access it, and I didn't have to watch a Chimar chart.
Chima chart? What's that? I wrote, I didn't have to watch a chart moving every 5 seconds. Jesus. Immediately worrying about where the next dollar is coming from. An unexpected invitation, or something much more serious like suddenly losing your job.
Okay, but what are you looking at?
Cut! I have to keep an eye on these guys now. I'm always expecting a drag queen or an inflatable T-Rex to show up and mess with me.
Seriously? Guaranteed?
What the hell?
Okay.
The cars are
Now you're
going
speaking my
forward,
language.
backward,
Because I know
forward,
people who
backward.
invest and talk about
Did the
making
AI
15,
just turn the whole street into a
20%?
transmission yo-yo
And every time I
contest?
hear them, I feel like I'm doing
And
something
somehow,
wrong by being scared.
Sandrine is the only one acting
honestly,
normal.
I'm a professional.
In
There is so
Montreal,
much
we're
to
used
learn.
to one-way streets changing direction and confusing the hell out of our GPS. But changing direction during the same video clip? Congratulations, AI. That's a Guinness World Record.
There is so much to
I swear, I told the AI like 20 times, the fleur-de-lis on the Quebec flag are supposed to point up. 20 times. And somehow it keeps deciding that up means the right side of the flag. And don't even get me started on the Canadian flag. That poor maple leaf gets absolutely massacred every single time. Apparently, generating an entire street in Montreal is easy, but drawing 2 flags correctly, that's where AI draws the line.
learn.
It's not easy, guys. It's really not easy.
Seriously, Andy. Thank you.
Okay,
I
that's
still
it.
have a lot to learn.
Now the
Would
AI
you
is
mind if we stayed
rearranging
in
everything
touch?
on the table. Ah, come on. Stop redecorating my scene.
Cut! I knew it! I knew it!
Before we wrap up, I will never contact you privately on WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook Messenger, or any other messaging platform to offer investment advice. If someone uses my name, my logo, or my image to contact you privately, it's almost certainly a scam. If you'd like to ask me a question, the safest place is publicly in the comments below my videos. Please stay vigilant. I'd like to remind you that I'm not a financial advisor. Everything shared on this channel. Jesus Christ, is that a cup of coffee or a freaking steam locomotive? Is for educational purposes only and reflects my own personal opinions. Please do your own research before making any investment decisions. If today's episode helped you better understand investing, consider subscribing. And until next time, stay safe and keep investing by educating yourself.